Hey all, welcome back to SLB Basement Bourbon Bar. I'm Kurt. This is Trenton. We had a marvelous show planned for today. I know this ranks on the top 3 distilleries for Trenton, in particular, Four Roses. They've got some great new releases out, buddy.
Dude, this is like the bottom of my distilleries. Not because they're bad, just because I'm not a fan of the Four Roses profile. Now, I will say though, at the end of, I think it was last year, we did a video, or no, it was the beginning of the year, talking about what we were hoping for, distillery pet peeves or something. I got on my high horse a little bit there. And I said that Four Roses was boring and they needed to step their game up. And they listened to me. Out of all people. I know that...
Of course they did.
These releases definitely don't take years of planning and a lot of R&D and everything. So I know that as soon as they watched our video and heard me say that they're boring, they were like, all right.
Switched gears, didn't they?
Yeah, they did.
We got to do something for January.
For Trenton. Specifically me.
Specifically.
Because I said they were boring.
Now, they don't have a rye out for you yet.
No, I'm still...
But I'll bet you they're working on it.
They better be.
This is just a precursor of what they have in store for you, pal.
Yeah. So, and I mean, it's actually kind of cool to see. So why don't you explain these, because I don't know anything about them.
Once again, I'm super excited so far in January. If you all watched our show on Monday, if not, check it out. A brand new Penelope wheated bourbon at $40. Brand new for January. I thought it was pretty solid. I found out that Four Roses, as you know, they've got plenty of yeast strains and mash bills and whatever. They can have 10 different recipes, you know, and I'm not going to get into all that because I don't know it all off the top of my head for one thing. I don't either. And it would take 10 minutes to explain it. But they use, for a long time, they've had this single barrel release here, guys. This is, I know it's the older label, so excuse that, but their original single barrel release I thought was really good. Trenton had, not so much for him exactly, but for me, I thought it was really good. And this started out to be around $42. I don't know what it is now. It was 38, sure. 40, 42, somewhere in there. Mm-hmm. My guess is probably closer to $50. It might even be $50 now. I don't even know. But this one in particular, Trenton, is the OBSV, as they would call it. Oh. And this is the 60% corn, 35% rye mash bill.
Okay.
This one here.
See, I didn't even know that.
So this is the old one. We have that here. This is one I've purchased half a dozen times at least. There's always one in the bar down here, always. This year, what they did, out of their 10 different recipes, they released 3 of them in single barrel forms here at 100 proof.
I like that.
I thought that was fantastic.
Yeah.
I think, in what I've read, through the next year or 2 or 3, whatever they decide to do, each year they're going to come up with more releases of their recipes.
I like that. So, okay, yeah, so they have 6 left, I guess? If that's is that still like a flagship thing, do you know?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
This is still the flagship single barrel right here, the OBSV.
Is that 100 proof too?
It is.
Okay.
This is still, they're going to be their flagship single barrel, and it will be. And then they're going to come out with different releases. Now, I have it on my phone, Trent, and are you proud of me? It's on my phone.
I'm very proud.
I didn't write all this down, but this year's release is here, and I don't even know what I got here.
OESK.
OESK?
Yeah.
Oh, you see it back there?
Yeah, it's got the thing on the back.
Oeso and OBSF. That's a lot of letters, and it's just a different, what would you call it? Recipes, mash bills.
I think it's mash bill.
Recipes. We'll get to all
something with a yeast strain too, I think. I don't know. So, I personally, I think this is a fantastic idea, and you know why? Especially, they're all $50. That is nice.
$50. So they're probably the same price as this is. It's probably $50 now too, probably. So they're releasing some, in my opinion, a little bit of some specialty items here, and they're keeping it at the same price at $50. So kudos to Four Roses.
Good on you, Four Roses.
Yeah.
I'm so proud.
So what's the first one? Let's taste the first one.
OESK.
OESK. You can read that, Trent. That's fine. What they say about it.
Baking spice, mellow oak, tea leaves, and caramel. I've never eaten a tea leaf, surprisingly.
OESK, according to on the website, that's mash bill E, which is 75% corn and 20% rye, with yeast strain K. I know that was important to you too. You had to know. I know you wouldn't be able to taste that proper unless you knew the yeast strain.
So it seems the last number in the thing is the yeast strain.
Might be.
We'll see.
Yep.
That's my hunch.
You like a theme, you and your mom.
I do.
I know you do.
I don't like themes. I like patterns.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Makes
which
sense.
I guess is kind of like a
It
theme.
makes sense to
Anyways.
you. Something with a pattern. I got you. Fruity. Smells good to me.
I get like some plum
Yeah,
and some oak.
sure.
I don't
I can see a little bit of oak. I tend to find it more fruity than anything else. I don't really get any rich caramels or anything like that.
I've never had a tea leaf in my life. I don't really like tea
I
at
wonder if
all.
they're just speaking of palate notes there.
Notes. Yeah. Oh yeah, that's true. I forgot that
Not
we
really,
haven't
yeah.
tasted it. We're just smelling
Yeah,
it.
just smelling.
Yeah.
But to me, it's predominantly fruity and probably in the darker fruits like Trenton's speaking of with the plum and so forth. Yeah.
I just got a little
like
bit of a seaweedy note. Maybe there's some tea that smells like seaweed. I don't know. But YOLO.
Possible.
Dude, actually that's pretty good.
I almost swallowed that the wrong way. I apologize. I almost swallowed that the wrong way. That was almost not good. I'm picking up some of that tea leaf stuff, though, for sure, in there. I thought it was a pretty nice sip, to be honest with you. I didn't quite get as much fruit notes as I did on the nosing. Did you?
I don't really get any fruit notes. I honestly get some oak and some caramely notes. Maybe some that's a little bit more on the earthy side. Like I said, I've never had a tea leaf, so I can't say, oh, this tastes like an Earl Grey tea. Or
Yeah, I'm thinking that's the tea stuff we're talking about here.
I don't get any baking spice.
I'd have to disagree a little bit.
Do you?
If you just think about it as it rolls into the finish, Trenton, back end into the finish, I could see a little bit of some baking spice there. I don't know. I thought it was pretty enjoyable. I did.
For $50, honestly,
Yeah.
this is a pretty solid start.
All right. What do we got up next?
We have a OESO.
Okay.
Oeso.
OESO is 75% corn, 20% rye, so similar to the OESK, except for this one is yeast strain O.
Okay, so O is okay. The last letter has to be the
It's going to disappoint you greatly if the last one.
Dude, that's gonna hurt my OCD so bad. I will legit never buy another Four Roses product if that's the case. Just to be very dramatic about it. Okay, now this one smells
probably
really
right.
nice.
Well, this has got it all, in my opinion. This has got the dark, rich cherry note in there that I love. It follows suit with a beautiful brown sugary note in there too.
Yeah. I'll say I do get a little bit of this like dandelion / marigold note. If you were to eat one of those, like an edible flower type of a thing, in a good way, of course.
Yeah, of course.
But I do see what you mean with the cherry a little
Yeah.
bit. It's definitely a sweet nose.
Yeah. And to me, all this one over here on the nose for me was predominantly fruit. This one here is a little bit more well balanced.
This one smells like kind of like a really solid like Michter's 10. Not quite the 2023, but like Michter's 10s for me sometimes lean a little bit more towards like this mature cherry note that I get on the nose here. Wow.
It's definitely a little bit darker than the first offering. It's a little bit richer, but also it's a little bit more bitter, rolling into the mid palate and in the back. You?
Yeah. Because I was trying to figure out if I actually liked it or not. Because at the front of the palate, it is very almost like a fruit roll up or fruit by the foot. A little bit of this like really nice, almost like an artificially type of a cherry thing, which I don't think is a bad thing. I love artificial cherry. You get a little Luden's cough drop. Oh man, I used to eat those like candy.
No, you didn't used to. You did eat them like.
I did, yeah. But there are some aspects of the palate that are a little bit drying and a little bit bitter towards the end.
I'd say that's correct. But I'm not going to say that it's overly bitter and drying so that it's debilitating to the sip. I'm not going to go that far with it. It's just a little bit bitter, middle of the back.
It honestly reminds me of if you were to like eat a cherry pit. Because it has this, I don't think you're supposed to eat those because you could die from it or something.
No, but you know
There's
what?
arsenic.
One time, just for fun, this is the honest truth, just for fun. Your mom's got that pretty cool cherry pitter tool that she can go through those cherries and de-pit them and put them, right? She had a mound of pits there, and it has some little bit of meat on the cherry. I made a syrup out of that.
I remember that.
Yes. And if you tasted the syrup, it's sweet, of course, because you have sugar added. But if you tasted it, it does have the cherry, but it does have some of those earthy wood notes in there. It went remarkably well, so you all know. It went really well with a Scotch type old fashioned. I used monkey shoulder, and it went really well with that for an old fashioned. So it lends to what you're speaking of there with that kind of woody-ish, kind of little bit of a tiny bitter note.
And not so much in a bad way for me, just a way that is maybe a little less pleasant than the beginning of the palate. Just my kind of a thing.
Yeah, all right. I still thought it was pretty good.
OBSF.
OBSF. On the back label for that one, guys, is rich red fruit, vanilla, brown sugar, and delicate oak. So that's what they have on the back label.
Of what?
For this one we just tasted here, the Oeso.
Oh, I forgot they had those on there.
That's all right. Don't worry about it. I'm just figuring I'd let everybody know what's on it. All right, last but not least, the OBSF. We're going to try the OBSF on my phone. That one in particular has a 60% corn, 35% rye, like the Flagship.
Sorry, what is it?
60% corn, 35% rye, which is identical to the Flagship release, but made with a different yeast strain V.
No. It's not F?
Oh. I'm kidding. Of course,
dude. I was trying to. You gotta get, dude.
I just had to do that to him. Sorry about that. So, anyways, let me get wrap my head out. 60% corn, 35% rye. Trenton, apologize. It is yeast strain F.
Are you saying 60%?
Yes.
Corn, 35% rye. What's the other 5%?
Barley.
Oh, okay.
All that'll be barley. Whatever's left over will be barley for sure. So this one is the same as the Flagship. So we'll get back on track here. I'm sorry, I just had to slip Trenton and Mickey right there.
What? Dude, we're gonna get demonetized after that. This reminds me of one of those chocolate oranges that I used to steal from Bed Bath & Beyond when I worked there.
I hate it when he's right.
Dude.
He is definitely right. That is chocolatey.
It's a nice chocolate. It's definitely like a milk chocolate.
Milk.
It's pretty sweet. It's not like this bitter, but it's 68%.
No, this one is most definitely my favorite nose.
Yeah.
And I thought the aromas on all of them were pretty good, honestly.
So
fruity on here, the red fruits over here, but this one here to me, just that chocolatey in here is beautiful.
So you're telling me that the one with the highest rye content is your favorite nose out of all of them?
Here we go again.
See, that's weird. That is definitely interesting.
Things I don't even think about when I'm talking. Yeah. Okay. It's definitely milk chocolatey. It's really delightful.
This really reminds me of a nice mature, like it's so well balanced. I thought this one was pretty well balanced on the nose compared to this one. But this one is just like singing. It's hitting all the right notes. Really, I would say it's predominantly like a sweet chocolate, a little bit of like an orangey citrus thing, which I actually do like with chocolate. I don't get a ton of oak. I don't get much else. Just those two notes are kind of predominant for me.
Yeah. Yeah, but I love it. I love it.
That's the best one.
It's so good. I don't know. I don't get the orange on the palate, dude. I don't. This coming through more of an appley thing for me.
Yes.
It's coming through like an appley thing. Wow, that is so good. I do get the milk chocolate.
Still, yeah.
I get the milk chocolate.
Dude, that's wild. I don't know that I've ever had a bourbon that takes a like an orange and then turns into an apple. That's weird.
That is really good, guys. Really good. To me, kind of perfect proof point too at that 100 proof mark. Can't beat that. Oh, back label. I can't even read without my glasses.
I'm not usually a Four Roses fan, but I would buy this one like 10 days to Sunday.
You ready?
Yeah.
It's on the back label. You ready
I'm
for
not
it?
looking because I don't want to know.
Delicate rye. I can see that because it does have some rye spice to it, some bite to it.
See, okay though. Before you go on to the next one,
All right.
Four Roses knows they can do a nice delicate rye. So just put one out.
I
Please.
shouldn't have said it. It's on the back. It's on the back here. What can I say? Delicate rye, apple is on the back label. Mint, clove, and cocoa. So there's your chocolate note. They're referring to it as the cocoa. The apple note is, it's pretty prevalent for me. And I'm not the smartest cat here. I'm not a professional by any stretch. Not really getting the mint that they're putting out there myself. I can see where they're coming from with the clove.
I could see a little bit of a mint.
I see that.
Was the clove that thing that I just like ate when you gave me that? Yeah, that was not good. I don't get clove. I get a little mint. I definitely get some of the apple. It's definitely, I wouldn't even say cocoa.
Wow.
It's like legit like Hershey's milk chocolate.
Well, what's your lineup, Trenton? I mean, I think by far you and I both believe that this one here is our favorite.
That's the best. Then that's for everybody watching OBSF.
OBSF.
That's the 60% corn, 35% rye, 5%
Just a different
malted
yeast strain.
barley. That's fantastic.
Yeah. Lovely.
I think
really
it would
is.
go OBSF, OESK, and then the OESO. I think the palate on the back of the OESO is just a little bit, it takes away from the front of the sip overall.
And I can't disagree with that whatsoever. Now, in closing, for me, I think they're all worth $50. I think this was a fantastic effort from Four Roses. I think this one here for me sips over that $50 mark easily.
That to me, that's a
really
$70 or $80 bottle.
It's really good. OBSF. Yeah, fantastic. But I think all of them were very, very good efforts from Four Roses, and I'm super excited. Hopefully, you'll be able to get some out there. Get all three if you're looking for them, or one that might suit your palate the best.
I'd be curious how they are blended. The three of these blended.
Now, when in my reading, Trenton, I read that they're all between, the blends are between, these are single barrels. Let's think about this for a minute. Okay, so I'm almost sticking my foot in my mouth. They're not blended, my apologies. All the barrels are between 9 and 12 years.
For $50?
I'm telling you.
Okay, Four Roses, actually.
Okay, all right. My bad. I need to check my notes. I apologize. 7 to 9 years, which is still for $50.
Still for $50.
All the
single
ages,
barrel.
7 to 9 years, different mash bills, different yeast strains. Yeah. So my apologies. I'm sorry.
I'm
There's
pretty
too many
impressed.
notes. A lot go. With Four Roses, there's a million things to remember, and
there is.
I don't really care to study that hard to remember them all.
I don't either.
I just want to enjoy it.
I'm the same way.
How about that? All right, guys, that's all we have for you today. Hope you enjoyed the show. I was super excited to get these products out for you. That's 2 in a row.
I'm excited to see the other
2 in a row.
recipes or whatever they come out with in the next couple
year,
of years.
yeah.
That'll be
Be a few
cool.
more next year, and after that, and who knows how long they'll keep it rolling. But I think it's a great idea.
Yeah, that'd be cool. I'm excited about
Best
this.
idea they've had in Four Roses in a long, long time.
And it all came from me. You're welcome.
Well, we're going to cut it off there for sure. As always, guys, we ask you to please drink responsibly. See you next time right down here with Trent and me in the good old basement bourbon bar. See you later.